Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and it's time to go ahead and try our hand at another Nuzlocke. This time I'm either going easy mode or beginning of the game hard mode, depending on what y'all think. We're going to be attempting to beat a Pokemon FireRed with only water type for today's Nuzlocke. You don't have to travel far and wide to find water types, since they are just about everywhere, except for my favorite Slowpoke, which I believe is a Leaf Green exclusive, but I'm not upset, you are. The only problem is, from what I have to guess, we'll be keeping under the level cap, at least until we start getting some fishing rods in the HM Surf. But no sense in speculating, let's go ahead and cover the rules. Standard Nuzlocke rules apply, like one Pokemon per route, nicknames for each mon, and fainting means death. Additionally, I cannot level past the gym leader's ace, and I can't use items in battle. So for this particular Nuzlocke, we pick Squirtle, and we name him Leonardo. I couldn't decide which Ninja Turtle I wanted, so I asked a friend to quickly give her favorite TMNT member without telling her the reason. We have a relaxed nature, which means more defense and less speed, which is fine, because Squirtle isn't about to be winning any kind of foot race. Torrent ups water moves when we hit a health threshold, which can be useful, but can also be a little difficult to plan around. The rival naturally has Bulbasaur, because that will definitely be the hardest for us to face. The lab battle is always just one giant slugfest, and we begin tackling each other. The Bulbasaur is doing a small bit of damage, and we're dealing just a little bit more, and that allows us to win the battle. With the lab battle out of the way, we have a pretty easy journey ahead. We don't bother with the optional rival fight, since we can't over-level, and we continue moving through the forest. Along the way, Leonardo learns both Bubble and Water Gun before we get to Brock, so I'll let you guess how it goes. We're able to take the Geodude out in a single Water Gun, and then Onix it unsurprisingly outspeeds and binds us, but we're able to take it down with a single shot as well. That wins us the battle with little to no problem. I dread the day that I decide to do a Nuzlocke without any kind of type advantage going into this first battle with limited options, but that's future Bricker Boom problems. Current Bricker Boom problems involve making sure that I keep enough money to buy Magikarp from this shady gentleman, who we name Da Vinci. Through the cave is easy enough, and Da Vinci evolves along the way, so with our little Leonardo and not so little Da Vinci, we go ahead and try our hand first against Misty. With the ever-approaching level cap, I need to make sure that we clear out the gym leaders as quick as possible. Once we can get past the dark cave, we should have some better luck in filling out team members. Anyway, Misty first sends out Staryu, and the key player in this particular battle is going to be Da Vinci. The Staryu hardens as Da Vinci bites it, and we get a soft water pulse before taking it to red with Bite. Misty heals up, we bite it, and it hits us with another water pulse before we nail it with a critical hit Bite to take it down. When Starmie comes out, it begins using Swift as we bite it, then it takes us below half with another Swift. However, we get another critical hit, and that takes it down and allows us to win the battle and move on. With the slightly higher level available for us, that lets us go ahead and take on the rival before the bridge. Pidgeotto's up first, so we use Water Pulse as Pidgeotto uses Sand Attack, then Quick Attacks before going down. With Bulbasaur out, we send out Da Vinci, who gets poisoned, but a few bites does end up taking it down. Abra can't fight back and goes down to a single bite, then we swap back to Leonardo so the poison doesn't take us out, and one-shot the Rattata with Water Pulse so we can move on to the route ahead. Now we have to do some planning and plotting here, partly due to the level cap and partly due to Surge. We go ahead and avoid a decent amount of fights for obvious reasons, but before we get to Surge, we do have another rival fight to cover, and his team is starting to get a little worrisome, especially given the fact that he has more than 2 Pokemon, but let's see how this goes. Pidgeotto's the first one up, and we take it to yellow with Water Pulse as it hits us with Sand Attack, but we thankfully take it down next turn. When Ivysaur is out, we bite it as it Vine Whips us. It misses Poison Powder, then we bite again to take it to yellow, and then unfortunately, we get put to sleep. We swap over to Da Vinci and get hit with the Vine Whip, and flinch it on the next bite before we take it out. Raticate, we critical hit Bite as it uses Tail Whip, then we take it out. Last but not least is Kadabra as it opens with Disable for some reason. We bite it to yellow, it misses Disable, and then we can take it out to win the battle. Now, here is where we actually do something that I feel rather proud of, so excuse me while I do my villain monologue. Lieutenant Surge is easily going to be the scariest person that we have to go up against. Now, the rules state that I can't get past the gym leader's ace, but I can be the same level and level up during the battle. That's well within the rules. So, we take both Da Vinci and Leonardo around, getting some extra levels, or EXP, and get them as close as I can without sending them over the level, and then it's time to fight Surge. Surge first sends out Voltorb, and we start with Da Vinci because we need to get Da Vinci up to level 26. We swap to Leonardo and use Water Pulse to take it out, though Shockwave does deal some major damage. Now, we're level 25, we swap back to Da Vinci and take out the Pikachu with a single Dragon Rage, and then, with Raichu, it begins double teaming, making us miss the first Dragon Rage, but we take it to yellow with the next one. A Shockwave takes us all the way down to 7 HP, but we thankfully connect with another Dragon Rage to take it down, and breathe a small sigh of relief. We're still going to have to avoid a few battles along the way to make sure that we don't over-level, but it's getting easier the closer we get to Celadon City. The reason is we can get our next water type, Bob Ross, the Vaporeon, or rather the Eevee that we immediately evolve into Vaporeon. It has a lonely nature which increases attack and decreases defense, which isn't the best given the fact that Vaporeon basically has no attack, but it's fine, its special attack will be able to carry. With that, we head immediately to the Celadon City Gym. Yes, we have a water type, but we make sure to equip plenty of ice beams to our team to be able to sweep through her gym. Most importantly, though, there's a huge level jump between Erica and with Koga, and while there isn't one between Koga and Sabrina, I still think we'll be able to manage. But let's see how we do against Erica. We may end up getting swept somehow, who knows. Erica starts with Victory Bell, and we start with Bob Ross, who uses Ice Beam to take it to red as Victory Bell attempts to paralyze and misses. Erica heals up as we use Ice Beam again and take it to red. From there, we quick attack and manage to leave it with a sliver, but it thankfully misses again and we can finish it off. Tangela's next, and we Ice Beam it, taking it down a one-shot. Finally, there's Vileplume, and we Ice Beam it as well to take it to yellow. It misses Stun Spore, and then we can finish it off with Ice Beam and take the badge, finally allowing us some wiggle room in our levels. Now, let's go ahead and go to Giovanni, though now that we have the badge and a decent level lead, it shouldn't be too bad. Onyx is up first and uses Bind, and we take it out with a single Water Pulse. Rhyhorn is next and suffers the same fate before going down to a single shot. Last up is Kangaskhan, a Pokemon that we feared before. It uses Fake Out and flinches us with Bite, so we swap to Da Vinci to lower its attack. It uses Bite and flinches us as we smack back with Dragon Rage next turn. It misses Mega Punch, which is what killed Hatsy the first time, and we take it to yellow. It uses Bite again, and then we finally take it out, and that avenges Hatsy from our first ever Nuzlocke. We rush back to Lavender Town, we square off against the rival, and he sends out Pidgeotto, and we send out Leonardo. We Ice Beam it for a clean one-shot. Next is Ivysaur, and we're going to go ahead and continue the same move, Ice Beaming it and taking it to yellow. Ivysaur uses Sleep Powder, so we swap to Da Vinci and use Dragon Rage for that last little bit of health, as it only manages a weak Razor Leaf. The rival sends out Gyarados, and we swap to Bob Ross using Ice Beam, getting hit with Thrash. We use another Ice Beam, and it hits hard with Thrash, but confuses itself. However, it doesn't matter because the next Ice Beam takes it down. Growlithe is up, and we swap to Leonardo despite his sleeping, because Growlithe honestly just can't do much. The moment we wake up, we nail it with a Water Pulse and take it out, and after that, Kadabra's last, and we bite it to take it to red as it misses Disable, then goes down. With that, we catch a Dapinchi in Krabby. Forgive me for using similar names, but it was too perfect. And it rounds out our team a little bit with a strong physical attacker, and we couldn't get it earlier due to no good fishing rod. So I go back and I do fill out the team as best as I can. But Dapinchi was the best name that I came up with, so I felt the need to point that out. But now it's time to take on Koga, who sends out Coughing first. We send out Dapinchi and immediately use Guillotine, a move I rarely get to have fun with, but I'm also not worried about teammates at this point. Muck is next, and we use Guillotine again, and I can't help but giggle. Coughing is out, and we finally miss Guillotine, and our accuracy also gets wrecked. Then after Coughing misses Toxic, it takes care of the KO and explodes, sending us down to 34 HP. We swap to Leonardo upon Weezing's arrival and immediately get crit and hit with Toxic. We switch to Van Gogh, but unfortunately it gets hit to yellow, and we do have to swap to Bob Ross, who also gets crit by Sludge, and that forces us to switch again. Da Vinci brushes off Sludge despite getting poisoned and takes it to yellow with Dragon Rage, gets hit, and poison ticks us down to 60 HP before a final Dragon Rage takes it out to win the battle. But we came close to using a few members, probably because I was goofing around a little bit too much. Now, the funny thing is, due to us beating Koga, we kind of have to solid stake our way through Sylph Tower. Normally, I'd like to fight some of the Rocket members, grab vitamins, then face Giovanni, but that's not the case. We have to sneak around and then go fight the rival immediately. The rival has a pretty much fully evolved team now, but I think that we should be alright given our strong special attackers. Pidgeot is out first, so we leave with Bob Ross, who uses Ice Beam to take it to red as it uses Wing Attack. We then take it down next turn. Venusaur is up and we use Ice Beam as we get put to sleep. We swap over to Da Vinci as it uses Razor Leaf and Dragon Rage takes it to red as it misses its attack, allowing us to take it down. He sends out his own Gyarados and we swap to Leonardo on a weak Bite. Ice Beam it as it uses Dragon Rage. We Ice Beam again and it uses another Dragon Rage, forcing us to switch to Van Gogh. We swap in on a weak Bite as we use Twister. It does bite again and gets poisoned in the process, allowing us to use one more Twister to take it to red, and the poison takes it out. Growlithe is out, and we gotta swap to Da Vinci as Growlithe misses takedown and goes down to strength. Finally, it's Alakazam, and we swap back to Da Vinci and begin biting as it only sets up a Reflect and Calm Mind before going down. We grab the Lapras and name it Raphael before we can go ahead and go fight Giovanni. With Raphael, we can do a little bit of switch training and make sure that we don't exceed the level allowed for Sabrina, and send out Raphael to deal with Giovanni. Nidorino hits us with Horn Attack and goes below half with Ice Beam. It hits us with a weak Poison Sting before we take it out. Rhyhorn is next, so we can Surf it to take it out in one shot. Nidoqueen uses Double Kick, which does a decent chunk of damage given our dual typing, but goes to half. It uses Body Slam, which paralyzes us and locks us in place. Then the Queen follows up with Poison Sting before we break through Paralysis and take it down. Kangaskhan is up and we use Dragon Rage mostly to take it out, only getting hit with a few small attacks in the meantime. Time for Sabrina before we accidentally overlevel. Kadabra is first, setting up Calm Mind, and we use Rain Dance to boost our water moves. Kadabra uses Reflect to raise its defense, and we use Body Slam. Kadabra sets up a Future Sight before another Body Slam takes it out. With Mr. Mime, it sets a barrier as we nail it with Surf to yellow. Mr. Mime uses Psybeam and then goes down to another Surf. Venomoth is out, and the Future Sight misses. Supersonic from Venomoth is annoying, but we break past it to hit it hard with Ice Beam as Reflect wears off. A weak Psybeam later, and we can take it out with another Ice Beam. Alakazam is up and Calm Minds as we break past Confusion and hit it with Body Slam. Psychic brings us all the way down to 52 HP, but we thankfully push past Confusion yet again and take it down. Now, as far as I can tell, our worries, aside from the ever-looming fear of death, are basically over. We don't have any optional fights, well, actually, all fights. We don't have any required fights that could potentially push us over the level cap, and the level cap each inching up a little bit at a time, so we're off to Cinnabar. We can grab a Tentacool that we name Mikey, short for Michelangelo, which I don't think I would have enough space for. With Blaine, I gotta admit that I'm actually feeling pretty confident given our typing, but only one way to find out. Blaine starts with Growlithe, and we're basically hoping for a one-hit sweep as we open up with Bob Ross and use Surf for a one-shot. Ponyta's next, and we give it the same treatment with Surf and take it down. Rapidash is up and uses Stomp before going down just like the others, and we level up in the process. Last up is Arcanine, and we get hard with Takedown to nice HP. Surf claps back and knocks it out cleanly, and that's one more badge in the books. We have 7 badges down, and I just realized we're deathless so far on our gym battles. Lieutenant Surge was easily the scariest of the battles, given how easily Da Vinci could have died. Had that happened, I would have likely had to start over. Without both Pokemon being available for switch training, we would have easily crossed the level before we got to Erica. So, let's go ahead and face Giovanni. Giovanni starts with Rhyhorn, and we start with Bob Ross. Ross is able to get off a Surf before the Rhyhorn can move and take it down in one shot. Dugtrio's a speedy boy and hits us hard with Earthquake, but We do hit back with Surf and take it down. Nidoqueen is up, and we hit it with Surf to one-shot it. Nidoking is out, and we can continue with the one-shot sweep to take it down as well. And then with that, there's just one more final Rhyhorn who goes down just as easily as the rest of them, winning us the final badge. Now that that's over, it's time to fight the rival one more time before going to the Elite Four. His level is raised considerably, so we do some leveling up as well so we don't get our team destroyed so close to the end. However, I don't want to level up to the Elite Four's level because that could make the battle boring, so we stop at level 51 and give it a shot. I was gonna do 50, but I got a little trigger happy while leveling, so here we are. Anyway, the rival starts with Pidgeot, and we start with Bob Ross getting hit with Wing Attack as we hit it back with Ice Beam, taking it to a sliver. We do end up freezing it, then taking it out. Venusaur uses Growth as we hit it with Ice Beam, and it uses Razor Leaf as we take it to red. We switch to Da Vinci and get hit hard with Razor Leaf, and we use Bite to take it out. As Rhyhorn comes out, we swap to Leonardo and take it out with a single Water Pulse. With Gyarados, it uses Rain Dance, which just makes our Water Pulse stronger. We spend the rest of the time chipping it down with Water Pulse, and it ultimately goes down without too much fuss. Poor Growlithe doesn't stand a chance against a rain-boosted Water Pulse, and also goes down in one shot. Last up is Alakazam. It disables Water Pulse as we use Bite to take it to half as Psychic hits hard. We swap to Raphael as it misses Disable, hits us with a weak Psychic, and then we can take it down with Body Slam, allowing us to move on to the Elite Four. However, before we do that, I think it's time for some upgrades. While we're going to be leveling up, we're also going to be giving Gyarados the black glasses to boost its bite attack. We also go ahead and give a couple party members Mystic Water to help further boost their water attacks. We also level up to just before the final rival fight's Pokemon level before challenging Lorelei and crossing our fingers. Lorelei sends out Dugong first, so we send out Da Vinci, whose name I just realized is the letter off, depending on how I wanted to spell it. Fantastic. Anyway, we open up with Guillotine and miss twice before landing the one-hit KO, but all it does is set up Safeguard and Hail. Next up is Cloyster, who we swapped to Bob Ross for. We open with Ice Beam, but it doesn't do a whole lot, so we actually swap over to Surf. While we do get stalled repeatedly by Protect and her healing up, we're able to take it down after a few too many turns. Next up is Slowbro, and we swap to Da Vinci. We begin biting for a decent bit of damage as he uses Amnesia. Now, we do get a flinch and we bring it to yellow, then Hyper Beam it to take it down. As Jinx comes out, we swap over to Raphael, then Body Slam it as it hits us with a very weak Ice Punch. We paralyze Jinx and take it down the next turn. We send out Da Vinci as Lapras comes out, and actually land a Guillotine to take it down. With a quick heal up, we go ahead and move on to Bruno, and he starts with Onyx as we start with Bob Ross. We start with Surf, and that takes it down in an easy one-shot. Next up is Hitmonchan, and we use Surf to take it to below half as we get hit with a Rock Tomb. It lowers our speed, so he outspeeds us and hits Sky Uppercut as we take it down. Hitmonlee is up, and we get Mega Kicked in the face to 15 HP, hitting it hard with Surf. We swap over to Leonardo, who we now know can take the hit, and get We swap over to Leonardo, who we know can take the hit, and we do get Brick Breaked in the process. We use Water Pulse as Mega Kick misses, and leave it with a Sliver. Bruno heals up as we use Ice Beam to test damage. We swap back to Water Pulse as we get hit with Brick Break. A Mega Kick does end up connecting next turn, but we can take it out with a final Water Pulse. With Machamp, we swap to Da Vinci, missing a Guillotine as it bulks up. Testing damage with Stomp, we get hit with Scary Face. We swap to Da Vinci, lowering its attack, and get hit hard with Rock Tomb. We swap to Raphael and get hit with a hard-hitting Cross Chop as we do Ice Beam to red, but the berry heals up. We swap to Van Gogh as it uses Cross Chop and gets poisoned. We then swap back to Da Vinci as it uses Cross Chop, and then back to Da Vinci to lower its attack further. Then back to Van Gogh as we begin smoke screening. Thankfully, it pays off, and we can wreck it with 2 back-to-back Hydro Pumps. Last but not least is Onyx, and we swap to Leonardo and take it down with Water Pulse, and that was way closer than I had expected. Next is Agatha, and we start with Leonardo as Gengar starts double teaming. From there, it's basically letting Gengar hit us with Shadow Punch, Confuse Ray, Toxic, before we finally and mercifully hit it with a Water Pulse to take it down. Next up is Golbat, and we swap to Bob Ross and get confused, hitting ourselves before we start hitting it with Surf. It does get a few hard-hitting air cutters in before we do take it down. With Arbok, we swap to Da Vinci and get hit with Sludge Bomb as we Twister it. It does Leer us as we Twister again, hits us with Sludge Bomb, then we Hyper Beam it to take it down. Next is Gengar, and we use Raphael, Ice Beaming it once. We take it to red, it heals up to full, and then we take it back to yellow. It puts us to sleep with Hypnosis and begins wrecking us with Nightmares and Sludge Bombs. It gets us all the way to 31 HP, and I'm about to say goodnight to Raphael, but we wake up, hit it with a final Ice Beam, and take it down. Next up is Haunter, and we swap to Van Gogh and immediately get put to sleep. We do get trapped into the battle, then hit with 2 Dream Eaters, all the way down to 16 HP before we wake up, nail it with Hydro Pump, and then take it down to win the battle. There have been a lot of close calls in this Nuzlocke, but it makes it more fun, honestly. Let's see how we do against Lance. We start with Bob Ross as he starts with Gyarados as we begin Ice Beaming it while it uses Dragon Rage on us over and over. We do end up freezing it so we can take a few turns to use Acid Armor and then Aurora Beam. As Lance heals up, we continue with a couple Aurora Beams as it hits us with another Dragon Rage, and then we Bite before it goes down. Next is Dragonair, who goes down to Ice Beam, and the next one does the same. Dragonite goes to red, outrages us to 26 HP, and then goes down, locked into that move. For whatever reason, I forget that Aerodactyl is so fast, and we go down to a Hyper Beam. We swap to Leonardo while it recharges, and Ice Beam it to yellow. It's Hyper Beams us to yellow, and then we can take it down. Last fight. And a general idea, you can play a little fast and loose with your team for the final battle, especially if a no death run just got ruined by a silly mistake. Pidgeotta's first, and we send out Raphael to use Ice Beam as it uses Sand Attack. We take it to red, the champion heals up, and we Rain Dance. It hits us with Feather Dance, but 2 surfs later and it goes down. Rhydon is out and goes down to a surf-boosted Rain Dance. Venusaur comes out, we use Ice Beam. It begins charging for a Solar Beam, and then another Ice Beam does the trick. Alakazam is next and uses Future Sight as we Body Slam and Paralyze it, but due to Synchronize, we end up paralyzed as well. It hits us with Psychic, we Body Slam, it hits with another Psychic, and we Body Slam again as Future Sight pops and leaves us with 21 HP. Green heals up and we stay paralyzed, allowing the Alakazam to take Raphael down. We swap to Da Vinci as Alakazam uses Psychic, and we take it down with a Hyper Beam. With the Gyarados, we hit it with Hyper Beam. It hits us with Dragon Rage twice as we recharge. We Hyper Beam it again, and then end up going down to Dragon Rage. We swap to Da Vinci and begin using Strength to take it down, though we do get hit with a Hydro Pump beforehand. With Arcanine out, we swap to Leonardo and use Water Pulse as it uses Extreme Speed, and then another Water Pulse takes it down to let us win the battle and the run. That run was actually a little bit tougher than I had thought. Not necessarily due to the fights, but mostly due to the level restrictions. When you only have 2 Pokemon available for the basically first half of the game, you have to do a lot of swapping on every battle to make sure you don't go over the level cap. I hope that you guys enjoyed this run, and next week we'll probably be doing another evolution. The week of recording this, I actually took the week off streaming, and I'm hoping to finish up another challenge this week so I kind of have at least a small backlog of videos again. Also, if you have any suggestions, drop them into the comments, Twitter, my Discord, whatever you want to. And, as always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, think about hitting the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.